You can find this next guy weekly over on YouTube doing the Fantasy Football Monster Show. Please welcome to the stage, Mr. Scott Gerhardt.
Welcome, everyone, to the opening night of the Not Funny Lounge. We're here to show that the NFL is not the No Fun League. Well, I mean, you know, the league still may actually fine you over $13,000 for jumping in a big red kettle or, flag you for performing the river dance routine you and your O-line worked on all week. But, if you just ignore stuff like that and focus on the hits, the fights, the players being carted out, it's much more fun. I used to like watching football with my family, but that stopped as soon as Nick Chubb's leg got turned into a pretzel. My mom was like, I can't watch this. This is way too horrific. I actually like that side of my mom. Caring about other people. Though I think she probably should have taught it better. Because I do not give a fuck. But, come to think of it, my mom had just traded for Chubb after week 1, so now I'm just wondering if she was being caring and horrified or just pissed off and didn't want us to see it. So yeah, no more football watching with the family. And well, honestly, I'm starting to get a little worried about my family dynamic. Speaking of my mom, for the first time ever, I'm actually playing in a fantasy football league with my brother and mom. Now, my brother, he's done them before, so he knows what's up, but this was actually my mom's first league. She is a lifelong Dallas Cowboys fan, but for someone who's been a fan her whole life, she is not the most knowledgeable person. Highly enthusiastic, but not real knowledgeable. During the draft, it became apparent what her strategy was when she took Dak Prescott in the first round. Mind you, this was not Superflex. Before I even knew it, she had Deuce Vaughn and Jake Ferguson. Hell, she even grabbed Zeke and Dallas Goedert, just to be sure. But with no one even remotely viable and the Cowboys left, she wasn't sure where to go with it. I've got everyone I can from Dallas. I think I'm good. No, Mom. You can't just take the Dallas players. You need more to make a full roster. You know what she did? To be a smartass, she did indeed draft Moore. DJ Moore. You can imagine how my Friday morning went. My mom was walking around with a swagger I hadn't seen since, ever. I didn't realize my mom actually owned a pair of indoor sunglasses. And when I went to use the computer the next morning, I realized the browser history was basically a bunch of shopping on Trophy Smack. You thought I didn't know what I was doing, she said. I don't know what to tell her. Because this is all the while I'm looking at her roster, and she's already put Deuce in her starting lineup. On one hand, as her son, I'm actually pretty excited for her, especially since she wasn't playing me. I really loved football so much more since I started playing fantasy, and I want to see her have that kind of fun with it rather than just watch the typical boring one game a week. She needs to have no life as well. On the other hand, Scott, the fantasy football player, is looking to put her in her place. Now, you've all had that person in your league that has way too much hubris, a lot more than they should. And then, like, a few years later, they're explaining exactly why they were ahead of the curve, drafting Kirk Cousins as the 5th QB off the board while sitting there in a Randy Moss jersey. You're just shaking your head because you know how this is going to end, but they can just point at the scoreboard and say, Hey, the numbers don't lie. I mean, yeah, they do. Fine, Mom, you're a fucking fantasy football genius. Oh, shit. Did I just say that out loud? Yeah, from that look on her face, I did. And I have seen that look like 100 times just when I was 11. Nothing ever good came from it. It was just kind of like this. That whole, I'm not mad, I'm just really disappointed in you look. And you know what? I'd far rather have the you're mad at me look. I at least know how to deal with that one. But this one makes me feel like a schmuck. So she got up and she started to walk away. And it just kind of dawned on me that I had just trash talked my own mother in her first fantasy league. Well, as she's walking away, she stops next to me. I thought, oh, God. She bends over and she whispers into my ear, "You're damn straight I'm a fucking fantasy football genius, Junior." Yeah, my family dynamic is fucked. And this doesn't even take into consideration the fact that I'm playing my brother this week. This in of itself is interesting since my brother and I have had a good relationship until he was old enough to walk and talk. And it's pretty much been downhill from there. And what I saw when I was a kid didn't even slightly prepare me for what this person would look like once it was actually alcohol fueled. Without going through what has amounted to a lot of money in my therapist's pocket, it's not generally the prettiest sight. If I have to play him, it's not going to go well whether I win or lose here. If I lose, I am never going to hear the end of it. If I win, I may have some guy who's alcohol fueled show up wanting to find a different way to resolve 40-year-old childhood issues. No, I'm just kidding. Those issues are never getting resolved. But speaking of issues, someone was actually asking why Ron Rivera sticks with Brian Robinson instead of the, in theory, more dynamic Antonio Gibson. I mean, come on, guys. Riverboat Ron just wanted to give Brian another shot, since the last one cost him the first 4 games of his career. You didn't like that one? Too soon? Well, you know what wouldn't be too soon? Dan Campbell actually letting Jameer cook. It would be awful nice if coaches would stop trying to do irrelevant things like, win games. And maybe they would focus a little more on H.N. getting 20 touches a game. Yeah, Mike McDaniel. You might have dropped a 70 burger, but all those people that had Jason Sanders, they only got 10 points for all of that. I mean, you could have at least thrown them a bone at the end. Dear God, think about those guys. Speaking of thinking of other guys, maybe the NFL could try that sometime. I get it. I love football, and I love when I get to spend a whole day watching it. Being able to wake up at like 8:30, get some coffee, review the injury reports, make your last-minute adjustments before the London game kicks off at 9:30. It's nice. And from there, you've got nonstop football till 11:30, when you can just jump into bed to get ready for work the next day. East Coast dreams. For me, though, living in Los Angeles, my wake-up call isn't at 8:30 a.m., it's at 5:30 a.m. Now, I don't wake up at 5:30 a.m. for really anything. When that first game is kicking off, I am still incredibly glassy-eyed, and I am trying to remember if I had made the last adjustment before I hit the snooze button. Again and again. Well, heads up from future Scott. You forgot to hit save, so everything you did was worthless. But, better luck next time. And this isn't even looking at the other side of the day. My football is done at 8:30 p.m. Are you kidding me? Ending at 8:30 p.m. I am in serious jeopardy of having to spend time with my family. If I wanted to do that, I would not have a hobby that involved watching 4 games, screaming and cursing for 14 hours, and absolutely terrifying all the inhabitants of the home, especially the 4-legged ones. But my fiance is starting to get better at asking ahead of time exactly how angry or loud I'm planning to get during a game. I mean, I'm not planning on being loud or angry. It's usually more of a spontaneous thing. But, I'm not much of a planner. Okay, fine. Are the Cowboys playing? She'd ask. I mean, she's learned that has nothing to do with fantasy. Then, are you winning or losing? And what percentage chance does the system say you have of winning? Now, she knows if I'm over 90% to win, I'm probably going to be jovial. Still loud, but jovial. If I'm under 10%, I'm probably going to be very quiet, but depressed. If it's anywhere between 40 and 60%, and it's Monday night, she knows to go into the bomb shelter and lock the door because my emotions are likely to change faster than someone bipolar on speed. All the emotions are going to be loud. Sweetie, I have a warning for you for Sunday night. I am probably not going to be quiet. I mean, at least I haven't been the last 2 times the boys have played the Niners. So, you think anything's going to be different now? I love you. Okay, guys, that's my time. You've been a great audience. Thank you.